Well, despite being the most infected country in Europe, the UK has announced plans to roll back some of its COVID-19 restrictions. From July 4th, pubs, restaurants and hairdressers in England will reopen. The country's social distancing measures will also be reduced. And Prime Minister Boris Johnson explained the new rules in Parliament earlier.
Where it is possible to keep 2 metres apart, people should. But where it is not, we will advise people to keep a social distance of 1 metre plus, meaning they should remain 1 metre apart while taking mitigations to reduce the risk of transmission.
Well, for more on this, let's speak to Victoria Smith, who joins me from London. Well, good afternoon to you, Victoria. So we're just hearing from Boris Johnson there, and we know now that pubs are going to reopen on the 4th of July, but schools don't have to fully reopen until September. So what's opening and what's not?
Hello, Isabel. Well, I'm standing in front of London's, one of the UK's most famous museums, the Natural History Museum. You may have been here, home to the blue whale, the dinosaurs, of course. Normally this place and the Victoria and Albert Museum over the road absolutely packed with visitors, with tourists. I would be standing in the middle of a huge queue stretching right round the front. All the museums are now set to reopen from July the 4th, as well as restaurants and pubs with certain conditions, table service only, hairdressers, nail bars, where conditions are safe enough, libraries, cinemas, galleries and playgrounds. And when it comes to tourist attractions, that includes hotels, bed and breakfasts, campsites and outdoor gyms. Now, what is not yet opening are nightclubs, soft play areas, pools and spas and bowling alleys as well. And importantly, for those interested in arts and culture, the choirs, the orchestras and the theatres remain closed while work continues to try and find a way to get those back open again. When it comes to childcare, if all goes well, that should restart over the summer, and the government has announced that all schools will be opening again in September. Now, along with these announcements of openings and closures is the very important announcement that the 2 metre rule, although still advisory, is no longer mandatory, that you can go to 1 metre if you are safe, if you wear a face covering, in situations where a 2 metre rule is not possible. Boris Johnson has credited the British public with helping us to reach this stage and says our long national hibernation is coming to an end.
And Victoria, amid concerns that there could be a second surge. Now, the government has come under fire but from local councils and scientists saying the government isn't sharing data about local outbreaks. What's all that about?
Well, the big concern here is there is no efficient test and trace system. Still, the app that was tested on the Isle of Wight has been scrapped. A new one is not yet in place. And local councils have some money, but they have no clear direction on how to provide measures if there is a local lockdown. Should they be requisitioning hotels, for example? They're asking for more guidance on this matter, while Boris Johnson is telling us that we can look forward to a new but cautious optimism.
OK, new but cautious optimism. Well, thanks so much, Victoria Smith, there for us in London.